After the Dow flirted with 15,000 on Friday, thousands of Warren Buffett's disciples flocked to Omaha for the legendary investor's annual day in the arena. Our chief business and economics correspondent, Rebecca Jarvis, spoke with Buffett after all the action. She's here now. Good morning, Rebecca.
Hi, George. Good morning. And it may look like a dog and pony show here at the Berkshire Hathaway annual meeting. A 5K race, which is special for this meeting, just took off behind me. But the real reason 40,000 people flock to Omaha every single year is to hear from Warren Buffett himself on stocks and the economy. And that's where we began when we spoke.
Well, I don't know the answer to what the market will do next week or next month or next year. But the economy generally has gotten better over the last 4 years. The stock market got very depressed. I wrote about it in late 2008, and said stocks are very cheap. They're not as cheap now. They don't look overpriced. They certainly look more attractive than fixed income investments to me. But I have no idea what the stock market will do next week or next month or next year.
What about in your businesses? What are the most encouraging signs that you see?
Well, we see a very gradual improvement, but we've been seeing that for about 4 years. On balance, they're moving forward, but not at a rapid clip.
What would it take to get a more rapid clip?
I think to some extent it takes time. We've had a lot of fiscal stimulus. We've had an extraordinary amount of monetary stimulus. And I think those were the right things to be doing, considering the incredible situation that existed in 2008. I generally approve of what, in the latter stages, after it hit, what the Bush administration did. I approve of what the Obama administration has done. Nothing is perfect, but we had some huge problems in 2008, and our country is doing reasonably well coming out of that. It's a lot slower than people would like, but it was a lot bigger problem than any of us had ever seen.
When you say nothing is perfect, what do you make of the dysfunction in Washington right now? Do you think this could be a lame duck presidency?
Well, it's tough to watch what happens in Washington, and it's gotten more and more partisan. But now, so many elections are determined by the primaries and not the November elections, that it does tend to push both sides to the extremes and to cause them to dig in and feel that they can't bend from positions because they'll get primaried.
One of those issues is immigration reform, and your son Howard has advocated on behalf of immigration reform. Mm-hmm. How critical do you believe a new policy is to our economy?
Well, I think we need to have a policy. I mean, we've been bouncing this one around for a considerable period of time, and I think we should have a more logical immigration policy too.
What would that be like?
It would mean that we would attract a lot of people, but we'd attract the people we want to attract in particular. I mean, I think in terms of educating tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands of people who we enhance their talents and not let them stick around here. I'd like to see that change.
You're saying take the people who come into this country for education and make them citizens.
And certainly offer them the chance to become citizens, sure.
You have now taken up the chance to become a member of the Twitter sphere.
Here we go, huh?
Tweet away.
Okay. Warren is in the house.
Which is a surprise to a lot of people because you held out for so long.
You're still looking at a technophobe who's kind of pathetic in that, in all things new. But I felt it would give additional distribution, particularly to an article. I wanted to have wide distribution about women. So I joined Twitter, and it seems to be working.
In the article in Fortune magazine, Buffett called women the key to America's prosperity, writing, "We've seen what can be accomplished when we use 50% of our human capacity. If you visualize what 100% can do, you'll join me as an unbridled optimist about America's future."
You're bullish on women.
I think we've made a terrible mistake in this country, and a lot of other countries too, but in not using all of our talent. I mean, if we said we were only going to let people, men 5'10" or below, engage in 3 or 4 occupations, it would be regarded as totally nutty. And for decades, centuries, we relegated women to just a few occupations, and we did not fully use the talent that's available. And we're making progress, but we got ways to go.
Beyond rhetoric, what can be done to change that?
I think there should be more pushing forward in terms of both the outer structure, but then I was also encouraging women not to hold themselves back.
3 of the 13 members of Warren Buffett's Berkshire Hathaway board are women. That's a little bit better than the national average. However, there will be a man eventually replacing Warren Buffett. He says he has no plans to step down just yet, but the board and he are firmly aligned on one candidate, and it's not a woman.